All right, welcome to There's Always a Song. My name is Brent Buchanan from Pure Country, and there's always a song on this show, even if you forget your guitar. We'll have that story in a while.
We will.
But we do have a great guest with us today. This guest has been a friend of mine for many, many years. We went to school together. And my guest for tonight's episode of There's Always a Song is Mike Bidlake. How are you?
Brent, I'm super good. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to have you.
It's great to be here.
Good to have you. And like I said, we go, and yeah, you forgot your guitar.
It was a busy day. I had a lot on my mind.
I know.
And I was thinking about just getting together and having a great interview. Mm-hmm. And I had a guitar with me, packed to go. And I left with the shirt. I got the cool shirt anyway.
No worries. We got a guitar for you. Yeah. We do go way back. We go back to our high school days, our FHS days.
Yeah, man.
And have you always been involved in music, even through high school? I think?
So, yeah. Like for me, it started... so I can't talk about being a musician without sort of starting with my first liberty, my first freedom as a child. Yeah. And I was blessed with two really awesome young parents, young, spirited, very cool people. And of course, on Friday and Saturday nights, there would often be lots of aunts and uncles that drop by. You know?
Yeah, I get it.
And in the morning, we could get up early and, the folks would sleep in a little bit and we would, push back a few empties maybe, get a bowl of cereal out, watch some cartoons. But during those times, it was when I discovered records, album covers, and I started choosing music to put on a platter, vinyl records in those days. Was there live music at these? Like anyone bring over a flat top? Yeah. So my dad's a bluegrass player. And so as I'm discovering this freedom, discovering music. There is in the mid sort of the late 70s sort of this infusion of like live bluegrass in my living room.
Wow.
The guys would get together and rehearse.
Yeah.
And so I gravitated to that. 6, 7, I couldn't get my hand around a guitar neck. So being inspired by these really cool records, first one being specifically a Johnny Cash record, Folsom Prison Blues live, from a prison, the album cover. It's like, I was so scared I couldn't turn it off. I didn't know what to do. So then I'm exposed to bluegrass music. And bluegrass music is still one of my favorite, one of the most traditional, pure forms of music being made today. And there's no smoke and mirrors with bluegrass guys, right? No. It's like you've got it or you don't. And I love the music. So, I start playing a little mandolin. There's some little 2-finger cheat chords and mostly G, C, and D. And, sitting in the corner, what a great babysitter.
And it's small.
And it's small.
Yeah.
It fit me. And I could sit in the little, recliner in the corner while the boys were rehearsing. And I could, figure out the chord changes. And as long as it stuck in my wheelhouse of G, C, and D, I was golden. Throw an A minor, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But I learned how to overcome all that stuff. Yeah. And then by, 8, 9, I was playing guitar. And my dad was pretty active in the bluegrass scene.
What was his instrument?
Mostly a banjo player.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-string banjo player. But he played guitar and he played a little mandolin. And, so I got exposed to I remember being taken to the first Fredericton Old Time Country Music Association meeting at the Odell Lodge. Okay. We're talking 78, 79. And it was, like Mark Fisher, John Jeffries, all those guys, but they were just young men and monster players.
Good players.
Oh my gracious, yeah. And I met a really cool guy there who became an influence to me, Duke Branscombe, great bluegrass guitar player, and also a teacher. And come to find out, he taught at Albert Street Junior High School, which was the junior high school I ended up going to. And so through those years, and I was transforming then. It was like Oh, I figured out Black Sabbath by now.
Yeah,
I just skipped the point there. Beatles, Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath. Right. Now we're back up to Black Sabbath. It's grade 7, 8. I start meeting some local players like Roger Hovey, Huey Sinclair, Garth Blake, old bass player from town who lives away now. And, that just began my journey into, playing in bands and playing gigs, really. It was.
Did you have a band in high school? Did you
So, yeah, I kind of floated around. There was a couple of, I never really played in a constant band for all 3 years, but it seemed like every year there was it was the flavor of the year. I think I played every coffee house there was for the 3 years we were there, and every 3 years there were it was all a different band, But anyway, it was just really cool, and I sort of graduated high school, puttered around Fredericton, continuing to play, but not really fully. I went out west, did some things, came back. And it was sometime in the probably early 90s when the Harvest Jazz Blues Festival started.
Yeah. And
I got to know a guy named Poor Charlie Robertson. His wife's Beverly Robertson. They're very good friends of Joni Mitchell's, and from back in the 50s, and back in the day. And Charlie is a real traditional Delta blues player, and I heard that, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I just went like a nerve fuzzy in my no, really, because it was the thread. It was like it connected all the dots. The good AC/DC songs that I liked, the great Led Zeppelin songs that I liked, the great Van Halen, the Sabbath songs, they were the blues.
Yeah,
they were the blues.
Just ramped up a bit. That's
right,
all.
Right. So, and then it became like, and it's traditional and it's pure, like the bluegrass. You know what I mean? And
there's country in the blues too, though.
Huge. Yeah. It's all it all sort of, although it came from different sides of railroad tracks. The common thread through it all was, good people feeling bad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Do you remember your first album that you bought? With your own money?
100%, yeah. Detroit Rock City by Kiss.
Oh,
I was
really?
like 7, yeah. Yeah, you see, I had started to listen to music and play music, but I had not connected the dots.
Right.
That me playing Foggy Mountain Breakdown with my dad those same chords and notes made Led Zeppelin songs.
Yeah.
Or made these other sounds. And it wasn't until, in junior high school where it really started to happen, where it was like, I think it was, the summer between grade 6 and 7 for us was the year that I think Back in Black came out.
That was my first
1980.
album. That was my first album.
Yeah. And a friend of mine dubbed me a copy of it because I didn't have the record.
Yeah.
And he gave me a tape of it. And I remember learning every song on the record. And there was 2 songs that you had to tune quickly between songs to get down because you feel how to play as a kid. And to this day, when I teach guitar students, I always recommend to young guitar students to find songs that they like to play along with the record, but then find a record that you like and learn the whole record. Yeah. Because it's the best exercise for playing in a band with other people.
Because you have to change and
you're constantly playing music, you're constantly thinking about songs, you're constantly so and in time, and that's a big thing about so many musicians, so many guitar players. The difference between a guitar player and a musician is a guitar player plays guitar, but a musician plays the guitar with other people.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not a guitar player, or a singer.
Right.
While you're doing a song, are you thinking about the next verse in the song, or are you thinking about I'm going out for coffee afterwards, or does it all come natural? Is it all
okay? So for some people it does.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people. I have to work really hard at something. I have material that's 10 years old that's never been played in public, and I play it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But it's just because it becomes, you sort of internalize it. Now that said, I can write something, I could have written something this afternoon and just struck me.
Yeah.
And it's as if I've known it for 30 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's a familiarity.
Yeah.
Because it came out of me, right? And, but yeah, that's...
It amazes me how a musician or a singer can remember so many songs and so many notes and so many chords of every song. Like, it's just, if I did it, I would mix up this song with this song and it would come out terrible.
So the easiest way I can explain that is that there's only 12 notes.
Yeah.
Okay? And we group them together in chords. Chords make patterns. I remember patterns.
Okay.
And so I internalize a pattern. And then if the rhythm can fit a vocal melody over top of it that matches easily, then I can do that.
Okay.
But if it's like, if I was trying to play Rush songs with crazy time signatures and try to sing a song, I would have to either sing and then play.
Right.
And sing and then play, or some stuff I'm not able to do. So it really surprised, like when I see somebody like, oh, there's so many of them that are so good at it, like Colin James.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yeah.
That guy is such a masterful player in every way. And, he just can bounce back and forth. Now, and run a band. I mean, you got to understand, there is so much nonverbal communication that's going on stage when you're playing music.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Just the looks.
All the looks. Yeah. So it takes a while to build up those chops. And that's the beauty thing about the blues is I can walk into any blues club anywhere. It's happened many times. And the band will invite me up for a tune, and I have, of course, I've never played with these guys before.
Yeah.
But I'll be able to say, okay, we're going to shuffle in the key of E, come in on the 1, or come in on the 5, or and depending on the feel, or we're going to play a funk, or we're going to play a slow blues. Starts off,
and they know what you're talking about.
And we know it's And my secret's this, and I know a lot of great players that'll say this. I surround myself with the best players that I can find. I am always, and it's by engineering, by design, I am always the least competent musician in my group. No, because it completely elevates my game. I mean, man, all of a sudden. Plus, it's helped me and allowed me to grow over the years so that stuff comes sort of intuitively.
So you're learning off them every gig.
100%.
Yeah.
And we're all, but that's the beautiful thing. We're all, it's how we all do it together. It could be, one night it could be like when Mike nods, or I think Tom had it down. My drummer, Tom Blizzard, and the Chainsmoking Altar Boys had it down when I moved my leg a certain way in one song. He knew I was going to change. Because sometimes I'm out in a guitar solo land and I might just keep going. It's like that's the beauty of the blues too. It's
all in feel, right?
It's all about feel, and it's almost every night, except for very specific instances. But almost every night, and even in a specific instance, a complete left turn jam can happen.
Yeah.
It's almost improvisational. It's like jazz, and I kind of like that. You kind of become versed in a vocabulary. You became able to speak the vocabulary, and then once you can converse in the blues, you can just throw yourself together with a couple of guys, as long as they can speak the blues.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we can play, or the country, or whatever,
What about the Harvest Jazz and Blues? You did mention Harvest Jazz and Blues, and you are a member, or you are the lead member of Matchstick Mike and the Smokin' Altar Boys.
Chainsmoking Altar Boys.
Chainsmoking Altar Boys.
Yeah.
You guys started when? How long ago?
So I really thought 2024 was our 20th year, and I kind of was going to book some stuff, but I think like book a 20th, push that.
Yeah.
But upon consideration and doing the math, I think it might have been 19 this year. Definitely 2025 is 20 full years.
Right, wow.
Because we had been together a full year as this unit with Tom and Pete together as the Altar Boys for at least a year before I went to play for the troops in Afghanistan, and that was November of 2006.
How was that? What was that like? Was that...
life-altering.
I bet.
I mean, life-changing experience.
Who were you there with?
So I got hired to be sort of the lead guitar player or a guitar player in the Rockstar In Excess Roadshow.
Oh.
So remember the show Rockstar In Excess?
Yeah.
Well, the 3 finalists, Ty Taylor, guy with Mohawk, Deanna Johnson, the country chick, and Susie McTaggart now. Susie, gracious, it'll come to me. From all LA cats that didn't win, the top 3 finalists that didn't win the show, J.D. Fortune won the show, became the singer for In Excess.
Yeah.
They packaged those 3 finalists, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th position winners, and sent them on like multiple tours.
Wow.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they would use, and that was kind of the cool part of that show was this killer smoking band, right?
Yeah.
And to this day, I've had some really opportunities to work with some really outstanding people. I have never, ever had the opportunity to work with vocalists of that caliber since.
Yeah.
Oh, because they sang each other's harmonies as well, because it was a tour, right? Package, you know. They did it individual tunes. Yeah. And then so that was the thing, and then there were like 3 opening acts, and it was the show closer were the Fables from Newfoundland.
Oh, really?
Oh man,
wow.
And you haven't traveled until you've traveled
with 3 Newfoundlanders.
No, like 5 or 6 of them. Yeah, what awesome time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, it was great.
That's
time.
awesome. Yeah. So Harvest Jazz and Blues? No. Harvest Music Fest is coming up next month. How many years have you and your band been playing at Harvest Music Fest? Like, what was the first year for Harvest? Do you know? Do you remember?
So the first year for Harvest has to be 92
or 93?
91 or 2, 91 to 3, in that range.
Yeah.
And so I would have been, my first, I became a student of the blues in 93, 94.
Yeah.
Then I started working at the Blues Festival about 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had a great house gig. I've done a lot of different shows with the festival, and it continues to, I mean, that's the beauty of a big festival like that. You know, there's some big tent shows, you know, and they are extremely, I got to say, a huge props to the organization, the Harvest organization, for providing the amount of work that they have for the years that they have. For New Brunswick guys,
they always help out locals for
always.
sure.
And the thing is it's hard in business too, especially this business. You know, like you play one year and you got to get back. I want next year. Hey, Brent. You know,
exactly.
Hey. And then next thing you realize is like, well, there's like you got to take your turn.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be there every year.
No. So what I've managed to do is pretty much for 20 years is had a house gig somewhere.
Yeah.
That's, you know, as a blues artist. Look, this whole gig of being a musician is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. And to do it right, you really got to just be a musician. And you sacrifice a lot of things, a lot of the normal things that most people take for granted. Like, hey, let's trade our car in, hon. Let's go buy a new car. Well, fortunately, I'm married to a beautiful woman who has a great job, and we can get cars anytime we want. But if it was based on, you know, old Matchstick Mike here, you know, he makes his payments on time, but he'd be driving a Hyundai.
He's eating KD at home.
Yeah, right.
New music, new project in the works, and we are going to get to a song in just a moment or two. But let's talk about new music.
Sure. Yeah. Super cool. So I about 13 years ago relocated from Fredericton to Miramichi.
Yeah.
I live about 20 minutes outside of Miramichi City itself in a beautiful little community called Red Bank. I live on the Metapanagia Mi'kmaq First Nation with my beautiful wife, and it's just an exceptionally cool place to be. There are, and it's interesting with because there was a shift happening. There was a shift happening prior to the pandemic, but certainly through the pandemic, there was a pretty good flood of some really neat people
Yeah.
that just wanted to go hide out in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of those people I have come to know and befriend, and am an absolute total fan of. The guy's a model of how to do it. Jason Barry.
Jason Barry, he's
Yeah.
being inducted this year into the New Brunswick Country Music Hall of Fame.
Jason has this world-class facility, and this is the neat thing about my work. Every opportunity that I've had to record, 3 or 4 now times, every time those recordings open up new opportunities.
Right.
And Jason is also a resident, a very busy working professional studio producer, musician, Dean Brody's musical director as well.
Yeah, guitar player.
And musical director.
Yeah.
So he has offered to sort of help me get this next body of work out, which fits this show because I have this body of work. It's called 13-speed transmission, like the old truckers used to use.
Yeah.
Right? And a transmission is like in a truck, but it's also a broadcast, or
Right.
And so I have 13 songs that are more traditional from my country roots, like the song I'm going to play tonight, old country song, that just never seemed to fit on the blues records.
Or on stage when you're at a gig.
Yeah. I mean, So, and I work my blues stuff with blues guys, but it's an opportunity for me to record this next body of work, when in the cracks between Jason's bigger projects, because we are such close neighbors.
Yeah.
And I would never have been able to have to manage that sort of connection. Unless we were just genuine neighbors and high-fiving guys, you can see each other in traffic, we're both big smiles, because we're this love life. You know what
exactly,
I mean?
exactly. So the song you're going to do, we're going to go to break and we're going to do a song, and the name of the show is There's Always a Song, and the song you're going to do is?
Old Country Song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Bidlake coming up next, Old Country Song, here on There's Always a Song. All right, welcome back, everyone. There's always a song. My name is Brent Buchanan from Pure Country, and as promised, there's a song. And right now, we're going to throw things over to our guest, Mike Bidlake, and a song called Old Country Song.
You know what I do? I close up my eyes and I dream of you. Those early mornings and each day's sunrise, my heart filled with hope and the shine of your eyes. Then now and now when we're all alone, you can turn off the lights, you can turn off the phone, 'cause in my sweet arms is where you belong. You're just like the words to that old country song. That old country song. And if I should die before that I awake, I pray that the Lord my soul does take. I will wait for you to arrive. My heart filled with hope and the shine of your eyes. 'cause in my sweet arms is where you belong. They're just like the words to that old country song, that old country song.
All right, Mike Bidlake and an old country song. Thank you so much, Mike, for being our guest tonight on There's Always a Song. My name is Brent Buchanan from Pure Country, and we'll be back again next week with another guest and another song. If you know someone that's a songwriter, a performer, and maybe would like to be on the show, you can always find me on Facebook. Thank you very much for tuning in.